Okay, welcome back to the Adventure Within channel. My name is Andrew Fritz. I'm a clairvoyant, healer, and meditation teacher. And today I want to talk about how to stay strong when following your higher intuition. So if you're following your higher intuition, you're already kind of in communication with your higher self. And it's inevitable when you're really listening, trusting, and acting on your higher intuition, that through that process, you're probably going to run into some uncertainty or fear or doubts. It just happens. It's a part of the journey. And sometimes that can kind of muck up or kind of slow down the process. And it can kind of be a little tricky to navigate. So here are 7 tips on how to work through that. So number 1 is grounding yourself and staying grounded. And there's going to be times where you feel ungrounded, just in life in general, but also as you're listening and trusting and acting on your higher intuition. And it's just this matter of, if you feel like you've lost your grounding, it's as quick as you lost your grounding, as quick as you can get it back, which is awesome, right? Because sometimes it feels like, I don't feel grounded, and everything seems, basically you can turn a pebble into a boulder when you're ungrounded. Everything seems like, so much more chaotic and crazy. And if you just get yourself regrounded, then it's just like, the boulder now is back to the pebble. It's not that big of a deal. So if you don't know how to consciously ground your body, one practical thing that you can do to get in touch with earth energy is just get outside. Go in nature, go for a hike, go camping. If you live near the beach, go to the beach. If you're in the mountains, just, go on a trail, wherever you're at. Just get outside, walk around. That in itself is healing, just because you're starting to get in touch with earth energy, and that's just getting in touch with earth energy can be very grounding, which is healing. And that's why people tend to be drawn towards, certain areas on the planet, whether you happen to be very close to it, or you really going on vacation once or a couple times a year to that place. You just really like that earth energy. But whatever is available to you, just kind of use that, go outside and just be in nature and get in touch with that earth energy. So that is step 1, staying grounded. All right, so number 2 is setting up boundaries and clearing fear. Like I said, it's inevitable that in this process that you're going to bump up against this energy called fear. And it doesn't feel good. But it's also not real, but it will have the appearance that it is real, and it will feel real, but it's not. So being aware of that, kind of the picture I can kind of paint for you is, if you're, say like The Walking Dead or some zombie film, right? And the zombies are a representation or the energy of fear coming your way. And just being aware that they're coming is kind of scary, but then the closer they get to you, especially up close and personal, it gets really kind of intimidating and really scary. But yeah, it's just an illusion. It just has the appearance that it's real, but it's really not. But being able to say hello to that fear, you don't have to hold on to it and let it kind of like paralyze you, so to speak, energetically, where you're kind of just frozen. You can just say hello to that, and you can start to let that go. So if you consciously know how to ground your body, you can direct that energy, everything in the universe is energy, fear is an energy, and you can release that down your grounding. Another way, if you don't know how to consciously ground, then again, say you're outside, you're going for your walk or just hanging out in nature, whatever that looks like for you, you can just decide to say hello to the fear that you might be feeling or recognizing. And just say hello to it. It's just an energy, right? And you don't have to figure it out or try to solve it or anything like that. It's just be aware of it, say hello to it, and then just decide, hey, I'm going to let this go. It is just an energy, and decide that you're going to give it to the earth below you. Just decide, okay, I'm going to drop this energy of fear that I'm holding on to, that I'm feeling. It's not real, and I'm just going to just let it kind of send it down into the earth, into the grass, into the ocean, the sand, wherever you're at. And just decide that fear energy is going into the earth to be neutralized. And you don't have to hold on to it. It's no longer a burden for you. And just see what that does. But starting to kind of set up boundaries and recognizing the fear that might be coming your way or that you're handling, and giving it to the earth to be neutralized. All right, step number 3, or tip number 3, if you will, is tapping into your willpower energy. So if you're familiar with chakras, the 3rd chakra is associated with your willpower energy. So just like, Kundalini is a very popular term or energy in the spiritual community and yoga community. Most people are aware of that. And that's an energy associated with your 1st chakra typically. And people can, through visualization, kind of imagine or visualize this kind of Kundalini, this lively, healing energy kind of rushing up their spinal column. And you can do something similar with your willpower energy. You can focus on your 3rd chakra and just decide consciously, okay, hey, 3rd chakra. And it's all about your intention, right? So just saying hello to your 3rd chakra, deciding that you want your 3rd chakra to kind of activate and kind of turn on your willpower energy. And that alone can be healing right there. You can take it further. You have this energy system that's comprised of energy channels and your other major chakras and minor chakras in the body, and you can just decide to move this willpower energy throughout these different channels and chakras, just different parts of your body. But just turning it on in general, just, hey, 3rd chakra, turn on my willpower energy. And sometimes you might feel that willpower energy turning on in your 3rd chakra, or you might actually hear it. You can hear energy. You might see it as a color starting to kind of show up in the 3rd chakra area, in your solar plexus region. Maybe you just have a simple knowing. Oh, okay, yeah, I know that it's there, it's turned on, and okay, great. So turning on your willpower energy can definitely be helpful with staying strong, kind of when, again, listening, trusting, and acting on your higher intuition. All right, tip number 4 is listening to your higher self, despite whatever fear pops up. We talked about this before, that the fear, it's just an illusion. It's not going to feel good. It has this strong appearance that, yeah, I'm real. The zombie's coming after you, and oh no, this is terrible. And just recognizing that, oh yeah, it's just fear. It's just an energy. It's an illusion. It's not real. And really listening to your higher self, right? Another picture I can kind of paint for you. If you're navigating some sort of trail or canyon or something like that, and you get to a point where, okay, I've been feeling mostly okay along, and then you hit a point where I don't know how I can navigate this. Maybe there's a steep drop off and the ledge is really tight and I can barely, maneuver along this ledge to get to a wider area that seems more safe. And again, there's this appearance that, oh no, this is really scary. And it's just, again, being in communication with your higher self and just listening. Now remember, your higher self has that bird's eye view, right? So that's that part of you that's really, again, not limited to this lifetime. It has that big picture, and it's, it's like having an aircraft or airplane or a helicopter that's up above high, that has this really great vantage point that can see a lot of things. And, if you feel lost, or I don't know where I'm at, or, what to do here, or, it'd be nice to be able to communicate with that person that's up there in that helicopter that can, hey, I see all this, all you got to do is this, this, and this, and you're good to go. And so it becomes a matter of being in communication with that part of yourself and just trusting, when that part of yourself says, hey, you're good, just keep going. Despite that fear that's starting to pop up, just keep going, keep moving forward. And that does take trust. Tip number 5 is, again, more related to your higher self. Continue to be in communication with your higher self. Again, you're throughout this process of listening and trusting your higher intuition. Some things that you're wanting to manifest happen pretty instantaneously, or there's a short period of waiting. Sometimes it takes longer. And the longer it takes, I find that the more there's more likely that doubt and the fear and the uncertainty is going to creep up, and you'll notice that. And again, it can kind of stop us in our tracks and kind of slow us down a little bit, make us hesitate and question and all that kind of stuff. So being in constant communication with your higher self, just the way if you have a really great friend, right? A friend that you text or you call a lot. And, if you were going through something, and you want to, say you're going through a breakup or I don't know what about to do with this job or whatever it is, and you talk to them because you want to get feedback from them and hear what they have to say and their thoughts and maybe their advice. And so in a way like that, you want to communicate with your higher self and just talk to your higher self, right? If you're following your higher intuition, you're already in communication with your higher self, whether you're aware of that or not. But you want to start to consciously say hello to your higher self and just talk as if you're talking to a friend like you normally would here. And I find that helps tremendously. And especially when you start to see things manifest slowly, right? Some things might unfold little by little. And when your higher self has been kind of telling you like, hey, talking about whatever it is, and then it starts to show up. Maybe it's not the full thing that shows up, but just something small shows up, or you make it through something, and you got that information prior via your higher self, and you kind of go, wow, okay, this is, yeah, so there's something to this. You're gaining more certainty and trust in your higher self, in spirit. So communicate, be in communication with your higher self. Tip number 6 is staying focused on your mock-ups and your dreams. So a practical way that a lot of people do this would be like a vision board. Some people put a collage of pictures of things that, these are their dreams, whatever it's like, their dream house or whatever their dream is, right? And the other way, if you're clairvoyant, and really we're all clairvoyant, it's just a matter if you're aware that you're clairvoyant and that you can use that, right? But yeah, just using your imagination to continuously visualize the thing that you're kind of going after, right? That you're wanting to manifest. You already have it. That's the big thing here, is that, when you say, I want this, it's coming from a place of lack, right? Oh, I don't have this now, I need to get it somehow. And really how the manifestation works, I find, is that you're just imagining something, right? You visualize something you're needing or desiring, and you have certainty in that mental image picture you're essentially creating. And you're sending this off, this image, essentially, you're sending it off to, let's say, source. I don't like to use the word God just because there's a lot more of a charge to that, but essentially you're releasing that. You're not, hey, here's a thing that I need or desire, this, whatever it might be, and not being attached to it, and just, hey, I'm gonna let this go, I'm gonna give it to source. And once source receives it, which is pretty fast, it starts to come back your way. And source will it starts to come down these different energy levels. And eventually it will get to your higher self. And then, then it starts to trickle its way even down further until it enters your life, your body life, and it's fully manifested and realized. And so I'm talking about that mental image picture, that it starts with that, being able to imagine that. If you can't imagine it, it becomes really difficult to actually bring that into your life, if you can't even see or imagine or create that at that level. So the vision board is one practical way of just a constant reminder of just, okay, this is the thing. This is what we're focused on. This is what we're working on. And you can even do that in meditation. If you're really great at visualization or you're clairvoyant yourself. And again, we're all clairvoyant. When I say clairvoyant person, they're someone that's really turned it on and maybe developed it and worked with it on a continuous basis. But we're all clairvoyant. But if you can sit in meditation and just visualize the thing and just keep your focus on that, because at a 6th chakra level, you're going to be handling this. I'll demonstrate it. You're going to be handling this. People from all around are going to be putting their hands over your forehead and your eyes, essentially trying to cover your third eye, so that you lose focus, that you can't see, your vision board, whether it's one or multiple pictures that you're trying to manifest, or the thing that you're working on here in relation to your higher self and your higher intuition. And so why does that happen? Why, and people, when you're in the dark, when you can't see, then that affects you on an emotional level. Then the fear really starts to become more, whoa, it's really more evident. And so when I find when you can see more clearly, okay, there's clarity at a visual level, and then that really is a relief on an emotional level, I tend to find. So what's with the hands? Why, where are these hands coming from? Usually it's other people's fear about what you're doing. Whoa, you're following your higher intuition. You're going after your dreams. And so some people might not, think dreams are real, or spirit's real, or higher intuition or higher self is real. Maybe they think some dreams are real, but man, the dream you're going after, I don't know, sorry, I don't know about that. And so it comes from a place of fear from other people, because, whoa, if you're trying to follow something that they don't understand, that they don't believe in, that can be terrifying to them. So it's a quite normal thing. So it's nothing to, it can be frustrating, yes. But once you really look at it further and just go, oh, it's just fear. It's their fear, and it's fine. And it's just sometimes it's just a matter of, okay, I got to take this hand off. Oh, I got to take this hand off my forehead, and just refocusing, not losing focus after what it is you're trying to do. All right, last tip is having certainty and trust in your higher self. So that's really key, and that's really, there's a 3-part process with higher intuition, I find. And so the first part of it is listening, right? Just being able to listen, and there's different levels of intuition, but we're referring to your highest intuition. So the first thing you want to listen, and one real simple way is sometimes we drive and we have this knowing that, I should probably turn left here. I have no idea why or where this information is coming from. And then sometimes you just go, whatever. And you just keep driving straight. And then you end up in a traffic jam. So if you followed your higher intuition and made that left, maybe you would have been able to navigate around that traffic jam, or whatever the blockage was, or slowing you down, or accident, whatever it is. But sometimes we dismiss that. And so it's kind of learning not to dismiss that, to, okay, listen to it, and then trust it. So first you're listening, and then you got to trust it. Because if you're not trusting it, you're probably not going to act on it. So in that car situation, if you were trusting, you heard it, you listened to it, and then you trusted it. Once you trust it, then you can act on it. It's if we don't have that trust, it's very hard to act on your higher intuition. So it's that listen, trust, and taking action, following through with your higher intuition. So certainty and trust in spirit, in this case, your higher self, is really important in this journey. And so one practical way with having certainty in spirit. So if you're familiar with the 7 major chakras, there's a crown chakra, right? This is your spiritual center. This is your, again, your knowingness, your intuitive knowing. It's your connection or relationship to your higher self and source. It's your transmediumship ability. This is a fun chakra. And so sometimes we get caught up with chakras and colors, that they're a particular color. It's always that color, and that's that. And it's not always the case, really. You can adjust the vibration or color of a particular chakra, and sometimes that just happens naturally. Sometimes you can do that consciously, both. So certainty on a color level shows up as the color blue, a certainty blue. So if you could be playful and kind of imaginative, imagining the top of your head or your crown chakra just turning to that kind of color blue, certainty blue. And that's just basically saying certainty in spirit, right? So your crown chakra is your spiritual center. It's in relation to your higher self. And so when you imagine your crown chakra turning that blue, it's certainty in spirit. certainty in your higher self. And so that's one tip, one thing you can do in a meditative state is just, oh, okay, I'm just gonna, sit down, and once you kind of feel good and ready, you can say hello to your crown chakra and just imagine it turning blue and just see what happens. Because again, you're handling this fear, uncertainty, and doubt along this journey, and it mucks up the process, and it makes us question, and oh, should I go backwards? Should I stop doing this, give up completely? And there's a big difference between giving up and surrender. You definitely want to surrender, you want to let go. But giving up or quitting is a completely different thing. Quitting or giving up is just, forget it. I'm not even going to worry about what my higher self is telling me and my higher intuition is saying, because the pressure of everyone else's energy and your own ego, all the doubt and the fear and the invalidation that's coming your way, it can get so overwhelming. And I think this is why a lot of people just don't follow their higher intuition, because it gets so overwhelming. People start to think you're nuts, you're crazy. And you see stories about this. People, they go after the dream, and if you ask them, I'm sure there was at least one person or a group of people that just were like, or sometimes a lot of people that are just like, hey, you're nuts, that's never gonna happen, like, yeah, right. And that energy is just like wave after wave, just beating you down. And this is why it's important. That's why I'm doing this video of just these different tips that can help you keep going. So you don't want to quit or give up, but you do want to surrender. You just want to be able to be in a state of letting go and having certainty and trust in that higher aspect of yourself. Again, that's the part. You've got to keep in mind that this part of you has that bird's eye view. You can kind of see the whole thing, the big picture of it all. And that's the part of you that has, your mission statement, your why, your purpose for this incarnation. So yeah, of course, when you get in that touch with that part of you, you're gonna experience some fear along the way. But in the end, ultimately, when you're getting in touch with that part of yourself and your purpose, like that's gonna lead you to, you're getting in touch with yourself. And a quality of spirit or yourself is joy, or that peace, or that happiness, and all that. So that's kind of where you're going. So again, the fear is just illusory. It's just kind of working through these little tests. And so having certainty and trust in your higher self is really important when continuing to, because you started off with, all right, I'm getting this message, I'm trusting it, I'm just going to act on it, boom. And you keep going through that journey, and you're going to have these little moments where you start to question yourself, and you're just handling that doubt and fear and uncertainty. And just some of these tips I think can be helpful at just kind of reminding yourself of hey, this is why I'm doing this, and this is where I'm headed. And it may be uncomfortable. Yeah, it could be definitely an uncomfortable process. But I think in the end, very rewarding, right? Very, very joyous, and definitely worth it. Because if you're going back, you're probably going back to something that you're trying to leave, right? And the thing you're trying to leave, it may seem safe, but it's, wow, this is life is boring right now, or this is kind of depressing, or I'm kind of pissed off, or been there, done that, and I'm not really gaining anything from this, except it seems kind of safe and normal, and other people seem to validate it, and it's all good in that way, but I don't feel that great. This is not really fun. This is not what I really signed up for. This is not what life is supposed to be about. Just, oh, okay, I survive and I pay bills, and I get to go on vacation once in a while, and that's it. There's something more. And so when you're getting in touch with your higher self, you're getting in touch with that more. The thing that seems to be missing, but it's always there. It's just a matter of just redirecting your attention, turning your attention within, and oh, okay, wow, that's much more fulfilling. And it's just a matter of, sometimes you're gonna, the flashlight, your attention is gonna go in a different direction, a direction you don't want, just out of the fear. And just, okay, let's get the flashlight realigned back to spirit, turning within to that higher part of you. Okay, so hopefully this is helpful. If you have any questions or any of your experiences with trusting your intuition or anything about it, feel free to leave a comment below. I'd love to hear about it. And I'll probably make some videos in the future, just my experiences, trusting my higher self. I have done some videos, I think already, where I probably have mentioned that, but I'll continue to mention more just because this is a big topic. And I think this is, it's very important. I think it's the kind of the cheat code to, getting the life that you want, as opposed to, I'm just going to follow programming. It's just, hey, this is the safe thing to do, and this is what the family supports, and the community I was raised in supports, and the world supports and deems this is real and okay and all of that. And it might not really be ultimately satisfying for you. And there's always another way. There's times a lot of people feel like, well, that's just it. I'm stuck in this and I can't do anything about it. And that's a complete lie. You can totally step out of that. It takes a lot of courage, and it takes a lot of certainty and trust. So if you're just starting this journey, it's very exciting, and there's challenges, and there's a lot of growth and change and learning, which is awesome. And maybe you're kind of halfway through in your journey of trusting your higher self and higher intuition, at least in this segment of your life, and just using these tips. Maybe they're helpful. Ultimately, you could always consult with your higher self. You could just say, hey, higher self, what are some things that are going to help me get through this? Because your answers, I have general information. I have tools and techniques that can help people navigate their spiritual path. But I don't have your personal answers. That's always within your own self. I think that's really a difference between a guru and a spiritual teacher. A guru is going to try to tell you, hey, this is what you have to do, or this is your answer. And I prefer more the spiritual teacher route, where it's, I've got some general information. I have techniques, I have tools for you, but I don't have your answers. But this general information, these tools and techniques, they can help you turn within. And they can help you find the answers and your truth that's already within yourself. And that's ultimately, I think, more empowering, to have a sense of support, right? And you get these tools and techniques, and you use those, and you get to a point where, oh, wow, now I'm starting to actually tap into my different levels of intuition, or highest intuition, and I'm getting my answers and my truth. Wow. So you can consult with your higher self and get your answer on whatever it is that you're needing kind of right now in life. And then maybe you have completed you made it to the finish line with whatever thing that you were, trusting and following your higher intuition with, or maybe a dream manifested, or whatever it was. Congrats. That is awesome. That's a big thing to do, because it's not for the faint of heart. It's a challenging process. So yeah, hopefully this is helpful. And if you have any comments, leave it below, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.